You know, of course, El Clasico, FaZe, Optic, it doesn't get any better than this, but I genuinely do feel like for Optic Gaming, I'm looking at players like Lqgend. It was kind of shocking to see Lqgend not being at the top of the leaderboard for Optic in that series. I think he had like 39 or so kills across the entirety of those 3 games, which is not something you normally see from the Frenchman. So you're really going to be looking to see him step up in this situation. But I think if there's one thing we know about Optic Gaming is that they had that conversation and they're going to aim to do just that.
I mentioned before heading into the Optic Shopify series that I was wondering how the playstyles would work out. And I thought that if Shopify got their way with structure and they really held on very tight and did exactly what they needed to by the book and literally chained the chaos of Optic, it would be a runaway series. It was that. Now my question is Optic, how do you handle the playstyle of FaZe, which is fairly new? It's also similar to what Formal knows, but we have a different teammate here. We have SnakeBite. How does that work? So many questions. Only one series to decide this for who's going home, who's going forward. The game is getting ready. Golden Boy, Walshy on the hand mics. Off you go, lads. Come on, here we go.
Let's go, baby. Feels like I'm working a PAX event again. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. All right, folks. We're getting ready to start this thing. I'm seeing a lot of butts in the seats out there, but I ain't hearing some life out of you. So SLC, you ready for the loser final? Dave, you want to give it a try? You want to give it a try?
I mean, just to prove to Golden Boy, I don't even have to give the excitement. The fans know I love Halo, and they know I'm just a little better than Golden Boy. So, Salt Lake City, can I hear some noise?
That's unfair.
It would actually be nice if they didn't do anything. There's like, we ain't flying with that.
You didn't have to do anything there, Dave. You absolute menace. All right, well, here's your series layout. If necessary, of course, you got Live Fire and Streets to close it out, but we're going to be kicking things off with Solitude, King of the Hill, followed by Recharge Slayer, Origin, CTF for map number 3. This is a interesting series layout for sure. We'll see how this all plays out. I'm excited, man. Let me see, is this working? No, it's not. Okay, we're still on the sticks. All good, all good. Solitude, King of the Hill, though. I do get thrown back to that FaZe SSG game where FaZe got absolutely trounced on King of the Hill. How do they address this, and how does Optic look to take advantage of FaZe's missteps in that mode?
I mean, that's the nice part is FaZe had a night to reconvene, to talk through, see what went wrong, and make a few adjustments. So they're gonna come out. I mean, you're looking at a FaZe who played incredibly well in their first match today, and an Optic who came out cold. When you look at that sort of momentum, you got to give it to FaZe. They got to be looking good right now.
Here we go. It's now time for the elimination finals, and we're kicking things off with by far one of the most consistent players in this tournament. It's TriPPPeY, and he's already gotten himself that camo. A couple players are going to go down here, and you already hear that crowd cheering on Optic Gaming. That 6-man to try and motivate this team into that into that grand finals, just like they've done in the past, Dave.
Look at this cat and mouse game, too. Both TriPPPeY and Lqgend knew that that shock rifle was just bait. Neither one was going immediately for it, and they were testing it out.
All right, well, I think our mics are good now, so let's do this. All right, now, as we see how they try and fight out of this one, you got TriPPPeY still staying alive down mid, and he's holding it down for the fort. Big fight coming in, good help there for Renegade to help out Formal. Had he died there and had no one been there to help him out, might have been problematic, but you're starting to see, though, good spread out by FaZe Clan, really pinning this Optic team on that tree side of the map, not really allowing them to get past that, and they need to force the issue over here on Cafe.
And look at just these all-star players so far coming out of Formal and Lucid, leading their squads. 5 kills for Formal, 4 kills for Lucid. The rest of Optic really needs to wake up.
Optic did have to deal with a very hot Shopify Rebellion who are just prepared to dominate the competition. And they don't have a lot of time. Meanwhile, when FaZe got their win, they got to take a second, see what was going on with Optic, see what was going on with Shopify, and build a game plan off of that, whereas Optic did not have that leisure to be able to do so, given that they just lost that game in the winners finals to Shopify Rebellion. But even then, though, you got to praise Optic for restabilizing here and keeping themselves in this. And again, I had mentioned before, Lqgend, eyes are going to be on him to see what the Frenchman can do to pop off in this series, because the Green Wall's certainly going to be needing him in this one.
Yeah, and Optic has such a strong setup right now. You have Lqgend being able to hold them off on the driveway as they're scrapping up time. So as soon as Optic have been able to go even or ahead in these slays, they've gone ahead in hill time, and they're looking prime for this first one.
Yeah, Optic giving FaZe a little taste of their own medicine. This is kind of how the game started out last time. A little bit of progress remaining, and this is going to be a lockup for Optic Gaming. They should be able to put one on the board, but just like say that, you're going to see 3 down for Optic. And now it's going to be FaZe's time, but the spawns are going to be coming in from the snipe side there, Walsh.
Also, FaZe not overcommitting to this. They are still holding the yard side of the map, forcing the spawns for Optic over towards the shock rifle. So even if FaZe lose this, they're still in an okay spot for the second hill.
Yeah, this is a great spot for Lucid to be in here, but a better read from Formal to prevent him from running rough shot all over them there. Gets out of that, and there you go. That's number 1 locked up for Optic Gaming.
I like that. I like that from FaZe, where they didn't overly commit to this and put themselves in a rough position for hill number 2. They're trying to get the hill number 2 to be a tying hill.
Renegade now trying to play his life, but Lucid was wise to it there. You do have 3 players down for Optic, for FaZe on the other side. Similar situation here.
I like this play from TriPPPeY. At least fakes over towards LR, kind of gets tough, caught in a tough spot.
Yeah.
Not having any other help towards Loop. But generally, when TriPPPeY makes a play like that, he's buying enough time for one of his teammates to come from the center of the map and help over towards glass/loop and reconvene there. Once he realized he didn't have help, he had to try to fight his way out of the yard.
Yeah, FaZe have been really good at looking out for one another in those instances, but there's only so much you can do when you got Optic just flying at you like that. This is looking solid for them thus far. This King of the Hill mode has certainly been a thorn in the side of FaZe Clan and might just be the motivating factor for Optic to get back into this, given how things have been shaking out. FaZe need to stabilize here.
Yeah, FaZe are just trying to bounce back from that great start they had. Lucid still with 10 kills and leading the squad, but 8 deaths to match that one up. Slowly falling behind in the Slay side here for the FaZe side. And you cannot go behind in kills against this Optic roster. Both these teams are so objective efficient.
Yeah, but you know what, though? This is good for FaZe. They got themselves another power item. Camo's going to be in the hands of Pznguin. And look at that. TriPPPeY just got himself an overkill off screen. So that's certainly going to be something you build off of there. And you might actually be able to get this first one on the board for FaZe Clan, which is the far cry from what happened in that in that SSG game yesterday.
You'd figure a guy could take some OBJ time off after he gets an overkill, but TriPPPeY doing both. Getting the kills, getting the hill.
He does everything. TriPPPeY's a man of the people. Love to see it. Gets that trade too potentially? No, he does not. Formal stays alive in that fight, but this is going to knot things up 1-1 here. Pznguin, he has been so elusive all day. Seeing him in that SSG game, the way he plays his life, unreal.
Yeah, he was playing immaculate during that SSG side. However, so far throughout this set, you got to argue, he's getting a little shut down. 2 and 8. So many other times throughout the earlier series today, he was able to get some damage in, hide away, poke out, do some damage to another player. This time, it feels like anytime he's re-entering the battle, he's taken out and eliminated right away by Optic.
Meanwhile, for TriPPPeY, he seems to be heating up. Last man standing here, but he's going to be running around this, just trying to get away from the action, draw some fire over there so his teammates can back him up. That's what Lucid does. A little bit of progress gained for Optic, but Lucid's going to have a great angle overlooking this, but even better read by Bound. A common spot to place his body right in that alley, but that also limits his options and allowed SnakeBite and Pznguin to be able to move in there and clear him out.
With 2 down, you know Lucid's going to start to grab some hill time, but still not entirely certain where they're at. Looks like he must have some call-outs from his teammates knowing that yard is the play. He wants to meet them before they get their shields back, and look at this. Engages them over near the cafe. Lucid gets 1. He gets 2.
Massive stick there from Lucid is going to prevent that drive from happening over on the cafe side. Now you're finally going to get to see that camo get picked up by Optic Gaming. Let's see what Bound can do with this, but he is going to be so weak. And the moment he goes for a shot, it exposes him, and he did. He did, and SnakeBite punishes him just for that, so that camo gets no play.
Some people at home might be watching saying, why is he getting greedy like that? Why is he trying to force some action? Halo is a game of greed. You need to push your limits in situations like that. If you were to try to hide and get your shields back before every engagement, you're leaving your teammates out to dry.
You need to be there providing cover fire whenever there's an opportunity to do so. Lqgend, though, now he's going to be pushing in for this trade. His teammate's weak. He's going to try and back him up, but Bound, unfortunately, won't be able to stay alive and recover his shield in time. There's going to be 2 kills coming in, though. Can Lqgend get his second? He does not. There'll be 3 members of Optic down, and now FaZe get right back on there. Spawn should be favorable to them. You can see all those players popping up on the tram side, also by yard.
And look at how FaZe sweep across the map, checking for the most critical spawns. First, they're worried about bottom lift and top sniper. Once they realize that area's clear, they're sweeping over and checking, is anyone running up poster stairs?
Yeah.
Are they going to shoot me there? And then lastly, they'll worry about someone on the yard ledge.
Pznguin looking to get going in this game. Maybe a couple kills like that against Renegade might just be what's necessary. That said, though, the help's coming in, and they're getting surrounded. Pznguin's putting down a lot of cover fire here, but I think Formal's gonna lock this one up. Indeed he is. That's gonna be 2-1. Optic managed to get this lead, but boy, oh boy, are both teams making each other work for it.
This one is tough, and Hill going back towards the driveway now. Consider when the Hill's been in the center of the map, that seemed to have favored Optic when they were in the bottom center or when they were near the hotel. Now that the Hill is over back towards yard or driveway side, you got to wonder, is that favoring FaZe? It worked out last time in the yard, but also last time you had TriPPPeY getting overkill. You got to do whatever you want when that happens.
Oh, ain't that the truth? That said, though, TriPPPeY got that overkill, and since then hasn't been able to do all that much. So maybe with this camo, it's going to open up an opportunity here, and he's getting some info. He sees over here by top snipe, one-shot player. Boom, that's going to be a solid kill right to the face of Formal. Good shot to prevent him from being able to do anything there. And look at that progress gained by FaZe as well. This camo is going to be such a problem for them to deal with as he wraps around the corner here. He's going to need to speed this one up because he was getting the comms. Hey, we got someone right above on yard. TriPPPeY's kind of in a bad spot now, but that camo gives him a little bit of coverage. They need to remove Lqgend, otherwise they won't be able to get into that hill safely.
Yeah, just getting that shot onto Lqgend is enough. Gonna jump in, put that pressure, and get time. This one's certainly going in the hands of FaZe. You almost have to wonder, do FaZe get greedy? We saw them make the mistake earlier in the weekend where they didn't go for the hill and cap it, but no, FaZe does not get greedy here onto this fourth hill.
Yeah, but in doing so, they ended up going 4 down, so that is going to put them at a bit of a precarious position as they get ready for this next hill. But look at the time there, Dave. You got only a couple of seconds left to work with here, so there are no rooms for error, and if anything, it's going to boil down to potentially this last hill. Maybe we go into an OT, maybe not, but the thing is, between these two teams, anything is possible.
Yeah, we will see here, but I feel like Optic are looking so good in this position, especially after they get those 2 picks. When they're trading out some of these kills like this, especially when you're a secluded hill, you're able to scrap up more time. Formal just getting this nearly uncontested, doing such a good job.
And he is going to stay alive. I was just going to say stay alive there, but instead a nade's going to find its way over. Optic's got this one surrounded completely, though. If FaZe needs to get in there, they have to do it right now. Otherwise, you might as well just concede this and move on to the next one and play for that 3rd cap. And then at that point, you're really desperate.
Optic
that is
getting
cheeky.
greedy. They're going to try to delay time on this top center hill to remove as much time as possible for FaZe to tie this game up. That's why they're barely tiptoeing into it. They decide not to press their luck too far. Now that Formal and Bound were taken out, they didn't want to put themselves in some sort of reverse sweep scenario on that shock rifle hill.
This is going to be as intense as it gets here for FaZe. Now, they were not able to pick up that first hill, as we noted earlier, but maybe this time around they could do so. As SnakeBite and the crew looking to stand tall, but instead it's going to be 4 down, and Optic Gaming, they know that they got this 1-1. 5 seconds remaining. They don't got to put bodies inside of that hill. They know it's going to be a GG. FaZe have to make a desperate attempt, and they cannot do it. So Optic Gaming go up on the board here in this elimination final.
And what a back-and-forth game. Every other hill just traded out from these 2 teams. You got to wonder, FaZe coming in hot from their last 3-0 series. Optic reversing the momentum from their 0-3 loss against TriPPPeY Rebellion. We're gonna have to see what they do here on this game number 2, but taking a quick look at the stats. Lucid keeping up that pace that we saw off the rip. 25, 18, and 9 for the only positive performance from a member of FaZe.
King of the Hill seems to be a little bit of a thorn in the side of FaZe every time we've been covering them. So maybe that's just the pattern here. But still got plenty more series to go as we get ready for this Slayer matchup. And I do got to say, it is a bit shocking to see Optic in this, well, previously in that position. I know that this is something that they have done in the past, right? They've lost in these elimination finals, and then out of nowhere, they just start leveling up. They start hitting these shots. They start doing the things that you expect of Optic Gaming. But I do feel like at this event, we've been seeing that parity between our top 4 teams, and most notably between our top 3 teams, getting a lot closer, which means that those moments where you think, oh, maybe that's exactly how it could play out. I don't know, man. In Halo, anything is possible.
Yeah, at this point, I've kind of given up. Like, really strongly predicting and believing in that. I'm just like, yeah, here's what I think could happen, but let's be real. You have some of the best players in the world slugging it out. Someone can have the game of their life and just flip that on its head completely.
Ain't that the truth? But a great showing from Optic, and they needed that. Most importantly, they needed it. Because after what happened, a 3-0 sweep in that winter bracket finals, you know that they would have to be so frustrated. And this is just what they needed.
And Optic, they're not making it easy for themselves if they're trying to win a tournament. They are giving themselves some rough roads, but that is the right start on this path with that 2-3 victory here on King of the Hill Solitude. Up next, though, we're going to see them slaying it out on Recharge. This one, I got to say, I feel like when I look at the two playstyles of this team, I feel like I would favor Optic's playstyle on Recharge.
Yeah.
Bit slower, bit more methodical.
Yeah. They can go, like, they can fly when they need to, but then peel it back, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of those, like, the stopping and starting that actually quite helps them. And it throws your team off when you're able to control that pace and not allow your opponent to feel comfortable. That really does dictate how that action goes. And oh wow, that's quite the artwork. All right.
Coach Lunchbox and squad obviously well prepared for all of these maps and modes. There's nothing here that you'd consider bad by any means. When you're the #1 team in the world, you're going to be good at everything.
Yep. FaZe know that. They know what they're going to be contending with here. As we get ready, players loading in. Pressure's on. Map 2. FaZe looking for their first. Looking to try and stop this momentum that Optic built up in that King of the Hill match on Solitude. And this is the time, Dave, here and now, to tie this series up and let them know that you're not going out without a fight.
There it is, formal, challenging for this first camo. It's gonna end up backing away. No, actually decides to continue to contest towards his camo. Looks like he gets help from his teammates over towards the control side. And Formal gonna be trying to skip away with his camo. Unfortunately, drops that camo. Not what you want to see. Obviously, you want to see players getting aggressive with camo these days. You have to be pushing a little bit quicker and faster.
Yeah.
But at the same time, dying with it in the first 5 or 10 seconds, not enough.
Yeah, well, we'll see here whether or not Optic can come back into this one. Obviously, still early goings. But we have seen so many times in these games where a team gets that lead in these closely contested matches, and it just goes back and forth, a couple trades here and there. Right now, FaZe know that they're going to be dealing with a shock rifle, and Renegade wants to rip some faces off here, but he's got to find the targets.
And look at the pace of this game so far compared to what we've seen every other game. Just
Whoa.
going so much faster. Just completely sniffed out there. Not sure how Lucid snuck in, but Lucid making a hero play, getting a kill on the shock rifle, unanswered, gets a reversal onto Renegade, and that's a big swing here for FaZe, because that was Optic's chance to get right back in this game. They had a shock rifle, they had it slowed down. That's exactly what you're looking for your power weapon controller.
Yeah, I am very impressed with how they were able to identify that win con to remove that gun from his hand.
Just showing off now.
As Lucid does. 13-3. Optic Gaming down by a considerable amount here. And this has all come off of some really smart reads, smart plays from FaZe Clan.
And look at that. I love that nade from Lucid. When the game slows down to a snail's pace, you are going to be nading these other corners. You're going to do predictive grenades. And I'm sure that's probably what even happened to Renegade in that one situation, is not even knowing that he was there just yet, just grenading that corner blindly, going in, finishing off the one shot. And he's saying, wait, I wasn't even spotted here.
Yeah.
When people are not spotted, they play the situation completely differently.
There was TriPPPeY. TriPPPeY, all right, but I do want to note that, great point you brought that up, Dave, because there were a few times we were seeing Lucid with some very deliberate bank nades where it was getting him, like, he'll bank a nade on the top of the control steps so it'll go into the catwalk door. Like, it's, you know, just that time that they put into this game, and the reason why they're truly the best in the world, all of these players that are playing right now. But boy, oh boy, a 10-kill lead. FaZe have not let this one go at all. Optic need to find that gear to get back into the game, but you can see how FaZe are just meeting them kill for kill, and this is dangerous for Optic.
Wow, and I was going to say, for the first chance, we had Optic get 3 members of FaZe down and try to pin them into one area over towards the pipes. Kind of backfired there, as we saw that kill, or exit kill, from Lucid.
Such a, now granted, while he does die there because he had to go over the cross, I just always have to commend these players for their ability to be able to disengage from these fights when they know that they're not in a position where they can find success. It's just so awesome to see how they read the game in real time like that, because he knew, he may not have known. We can see the x-ray that there were 2 players there. He may not have known, but he was like, you know what, I don't like this situation. I think I'm just going to bounce the other way.
Something just doesn't feel right, and yeah, it's just,
smell that?
It's just hearing all the call-outs there across the map. When you're hearing your teammates be kind of quiet and calm, you're like, wait, I'm not hearing call-outs all these other maps. I know we got sight lines towards long haul or towards control. It just, things don't feel right, and you're just like, all right, that means they got to be near me. And you have to know when you can push in or run away.
This does feel very reminiscent to what happened just a few minutes ago, except on the other side of the map. So let's just say this is the multiversal situation here. As Renegade now looking to find those shots, but they have identified where that shock rifle is, and they're not letting him have the opportunity to be able to have impact with that weapon, because they know what the true objective here was, to get that camo, and they have been controlling this camo so much in this game, and that has contributed greatly to this 9-kill lead that they have accrued here for FaZe Clan.
Yeah, just quickly being effective with it, trying to get inside the fight. Oh! You see these players, oh my gosh, of course Renegade hits the no-scope, but you're gonna see these players with camo here in 2025. It plays a little different from camo in, you know, let's say 2021 or 2022. People are just generally going for the first shot or two. They aren't taking their risks around going for a backsmack or a melee. These camo players just getting spotted out too quickly, so they take that minor advantage and try to roll with that. Yeah,
it's also because back in the day, our TVs kind of sucked. That was primarily, that was mostly the reason why, but yeah, you're right.
Just these setups are so good now in 2025 of Halo Infinite. Even in the first year or two of Halo Infinite, players were able to take a sneaky route, take a quick jump, and then get a back smack to have that entry kill. No longer is that the case. People know how to set up, and they can tell when and where a camo would be.
The game has most certainly evolved. Renegade now gets a big kill onto SnakeBite there, but just as that kill comes in, another one is brought across the board there from Pznguin. This is what they need, though. For every one that FaZe gets, Optic needs to be able to get at least one extra. But it will be so difficult for Optic to do so, given that they're going to be climbing, and now with these trades coming in, as we always mention, Dave, it favors that team with the lead. And when you have a lead as big as this, you're fine going in for melee trades when you're in those 1v1s.
Fine go for those trades, and then also even you saw kind of, not exactly a panic charge there from Renegade, but Renegade here in one shot over near Whirl. He says, I'm going to go try to finish this off and try to get some more damage after that. But he just trades a full life Renegade for a one-shot SnakeBite.
Good teamwork here from FaZe Clan. This game is definitely slowed down in a very unique way. Oh, SnakeBite though, the captain able to navigate that shot right to the face of Bound. And this is another camo pickup. My God, Dave, they have just owned this. This is theirs. It might as well just have a little FaZe logo on there, and then they can pick it up. You know, do we have skins for camouflage? I'm not sure.
They have been on top of that every single time, and it's not as much of having the timing down as much, but they have just either better control across the map and a consistent way to grab that power up and get away with it.
Oh dear.
Undoubtedly, Optic could jump on that thing right as it pops up, but they would just get melted from FaZe's presence around the map.
Brilliant job from FaZe, spreading out their resources. Ooh, a couple nades flying in. That was a team nade too. You'd love to take that one back. You're the member of Optic who threw that, but this is 10 kills that just does not seem to be going away. And every single time Optic thinks, okay, maybe we get one or two, FaZe are so quick to respond with 2 of their own, 3 of their own. And they've just only continued to add on to this lead. It's 11 kills now. And FaZe Clan are looking poised to take this.
FaZe aren't playing like it's an 11-kill lead. They're playing like this is a 1-kill game.
And I think that's actually a very healthy way to approach it, because it just constantly keeps you on edge. You're always looking around for one another, and most importantly, you're not putting your foot off of the pedal. You're keeping the intensity going, and that is what you need against Optic Gaming. Otherwise, they will find those openings and take advantage.
Yeah, but as you get to the later 40 marks, I like to implement a strategy called charge because you can't lose, because once you have a big enough lead, you can get those games done a little quicker.
Okay, but sometimes we've seen that charge and can't lose backfire, but you're so right. It's 48-34, 49. They're looking for the last kill here, and FaZe want to tie this one up because they want to give these people in Salt Lake City a show. We want to go to 5. I think everyone wants that as well. At the very least, we're going to be going to game 4 if it keeps happening like this. Now, imagine if they manage to come back 35-49. I would.
That's why you implement the strategy I'm talking about, GB.
Well, you know what? Looks like they listened to you, Dave, and they picked up the dub. We're all tied up in the series 1-1. They finally find a way to stabilize here.
That's a dominant deficit on the Slayer game. You know, I think back in the day in other Halos, we'd be like, all right, you know, a dominating score is like a 50-30 or 50-25 or something like that.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite, I feel like it's like a 50-35 and lower.
If I'm seeing you,
a significant margin.
Yeah, below 35 around that area, then I'm like, oh yeah, because that is a big one. You're right, so right. And look, taking a look at some of the stars of that game there, Lucid, who's been great. Finds that success in this one. SnakeBite as well with 15 kills of his own. And this is, if you're FaZe, it couldn't have gone any better than that, honestly. Strong start, established the lead. I don't even think they ever gave up the lead when they got it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I saw.
I don't believe so. Even though Optic got the very first kill and the very first camo, even after that first exchange or that first piece of turmoil, it was FaZe up 5-2. Yeah. And there was no lead exchange after that. It was just FaZe in the lead, in a comfortable lead the entire game. Yeah, even looking at this here, right, as we take a look at some of these replays, yeah, I mean, they were sitting at 12-3 at one point. Credit to Optic for being able to bring this one as back as they possibly could, but not back enough to even have much of a chance to win this Slayer. But yeah, they never gave up that lead. So this was a FaZe dominant Slayer through and through, which I did not expect, given, well, actually no, because I think even at the King of the Hill game, that one too was also like a bit of a scrappy, like back and forth until the end. Well, you know what? Looks like they I like the sound of my own voice. I can only deal with one of them.
Excuse me, sir?
Production, just only one GB at most. I'm gonna introduce that in my next contract.
Gonna put it on your rider. no GB loop replays. All right, Origin CTF now, tied up in this series. Yeah, man, I kind of, my eyes get drawn to how close that first one was, and then how much of a blowout that Solitude Slayer was. The Recharge Slayer was. Interesting. I will say though that for Origin, I think that this is where we're probably going to see Optic really establish their map presence a bit more and not allow FaZe to do what they did on Recharge, because FaZe had everything, all angles covered, everywhere, all at once.
Yeah, doing absolutely everything perfect on that one. We're gonna have to see, how these teams played on Origin. One thing we've seen consistently from squads here, though, as they're pushing across Origin, yes, you'll take control of sniper area or catwalk, but a dominating spot when you're pushing the opposing base has been their elbow. You've seen players just be so ratty around that area, laying down shots, and then they're in the perfect position as they get damage or as they get a kill to pull that flag instantly.
And here are some very interesting stats going into this. What I get drawn to is the success rate, 54% to 41%. So that's actually quite nice for FaZe there, right? Because they're averaging around the same amount of steals per game, but that success rate for FaZe being over that 50% threshold tells me that, you know, they have in more ways than one found that success, whereas Optic have that tendency to get stopped despite the amount of times that they're in there, which is 5.8 may not seem like a considerable amount more, but yeah, I mean, that's like 0.6.
I mean, we're talking only 0.2 cap difference per game, so yeah, you're seeing just a larger percentage of flag grabs per game from Optic. Also, you have to take into consideration, we have to look in the stats and see what maps are they playing. There are certain maps that you are getting less effective flag captures and grabs on.
There you see FaZe Clan poised to try and get this third map, but Optic Gaming do not want to let them get back into this. Optic have been in this position before in this elimination final, where they've had to dig deep to get back to championship glory, and they've done just that in the past. FaZe, though, this is a new look for the team coming into this event, picking up Lucid and SnakeBite. It is fascinating, right? It's Formal's dream team versus Formal's old team, as some of our friends in the back were telling us earlier, which I think is quite fascinating. how much that guy right there has had such an impact on the way that the makeup of the league has kind of played out in this season.
It's like, oh, dude, don't look up. My exes are on the other side of the stage here. Dude, oh, this is so embarrassing.
This is so awkward.
Oh, hey, guys. How's it going? Nice
Hey, are you
here.
happy? You feeling good? Oh, you got a new job? That's great. So happy for you.
Been seeing your KD stats. They've been looking good.
You look
happy for you.
How's your mom? Oh, man. But what I also like about this dynamic is for SnakeBite being the lone replacement, if you will, for that original World Championship winning Optic core.
I mean, you can't really ask for a better situation, team situation to jump in on than saying, hey, this was the #2 team in the world and you're replacing one member.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, okay, I have a chance to be that X factor. Bring what I know about this game, what you built over the decades, into this roster and bring it to a championship team.
And look, I'll be honest, one thing that I've always praised and appreciated so much about SnakeBite is how he approaches the game. He's a student of it. He's constantly reviewing VOD, constantly improving his game. He takes this seriously. He knows exactly what's necessary to get those wins. He tries to, he's a type of player as well, and the reason why I really like him on this particular team is because SnakeBite's the guy who he can clutch up and give you a dominant slaying performance, but at the same time, he'll take a step back and play the objective. He'll take a step back and support whenever those roles are needed. And that just seems to be exactly what that, former Optic core of Lucid, TriPPPeY, and Pznguin needed as they reunited together here for Salt Lake City.
Kicking this one off into CTF Origin. I mean, we're going to see a lot of people going up high off the start, and then a lot of people dropping down low into the bottom center as they're pinned back.
People just want to get down there for the Royal Rumble, man. That's it. Watch out, though. John Cena might come in at number 30 and ruin it all.
Spoilers.
SnakeBite.
Don't care.
How dare you? You know what that means to me. Oh, okay. From downtown. He manages to get that one on the Lqgend. That is frustrating, to say the least. And that's another one locked in. But got caught by Formo on the side there, so good way to stop that one from happening.
Yeah, and even though you got a good couple rocket kills there from SnakeBite, you still got to give it to Optic up until they lost that sniper. Yeah, now that sniper's in the hand of Pznguin. Optic on the back foot.
Things are going to get a little interesting here. Good support. He does have eyes down low. That's going to be 2 players down now. Sniper's going to go back into the hands of Optic Gaming here. Bound, I think, did he scoop it up? I don't know if he did, but he's looking for where this player's located. He heard the footsteps, but he's going to be a little weak, and that's a big kill from TriPPPeY.
Huge kill from TriPPPeY.
Keep himself to the side.
On that previous exchange, zero hesitation from Pznguin to secure that kill if somebody just trying to sprint and run away. Being able to isolate that without getting ninja'd or getting tricked is so important.
3 down now. Might just be an opportunity here for FaZe Clan to get this flag moving, and that's what they're doing. They're starting to make the move happen. You're seeing where those spawns are coming in. A few of them are going to be down low. That's Lqgend. He's weak. 2 more players popping up by the cave. That's a big shot there for SnakeBite. Exactly what we were talking about before. He can run the objective, but he can also give you the supporting slays to bring that flag across the field. And FaZe Clan put the first one on the board.
Yeah, FaZe getting that first cap. They know Renegade's weak over at the maze. Gets him taken care of. And FaZe aren't satisfied with just one. Look at this perfect position and setup once again. This elbow spot I was talking about, GB. You have this player supporting as your teammates push in from snipe side.
SnakeBite not trying to overstay his welcome here and continue to peek. He'll go in for those shots, but that kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, where, like, even though he's one shot, he's still trying to make something happen because he knows that that can pull attention his way.
Yeah, anyone that needs to finish off SnakeBite there either has to use resources like grenades or they need to expose themselves completely on the elbow. That's why you saw no members from Optic just run around the corner there, because they realized they'd trade themselves a full life player for a one-shot SnakeBite where they're not even 100% where he's at.
Now Optic with a little bit better map positioning. Rockets are going to be available. Renegade might be able to get hands on him here, but a few big nades are flying in. That's going to make him one shot. If he goes for that, he's going to die and more than likely drop those rockets down mid. So it will allow FaZe to just swoop on in and grab him potentially. So wisely enough, waits it out. And now you can see where SnakeBite is kind of ratting there, waiting to see if anyone pushes through. He does manage to get the kill on the TriPPPeY, but not before he does the same to him.
Yeah, quick trade. I believe SnakeBite just ran past.
Yeah.
No, didn't run past the rockets yet, but that's what they're looking for. Try to grab that one last rocket.
And the calls have been made. Rockets low, rockets low. Don't want to let them go down there and grab it. Pznguin does manage to do so, and he'll use that rocket. Doesn't really get much value out of it, but that's okay. It keeps it out of the hands of your opponent. They don't get a chance to use it. We saw how impactful that rocket was in the hands of SnakeBite at the beginning of this game, and how those cascading things, like that happened, that then let the other situation happen, that then let that Pznguin's incredible plays with the snipe happen, and then they pulled that flag for that first cap. So it really is a ripple effect in Halo.
But the same set that we saw previously from FaZe, I thought we were about to see from Optic. You see Bound over towards elbow side. Instead, he decides to go towards front bridge. And you got to wonder, is this the right position or not? Now he's back towards the elbow, like we've seen before. This is consistently where teams have been setting up one of their players to get that flagpole after the slays. Gets the kills and runs it rocket side.
All right, and he's got the support as well. Renegade manages to take out Pznguin, but he can't move it quite yet.
I think he needs to keep moving that. That is a worrisome play here. But Bound, since he's uncertain, he's just going to go back to slaying and try to buy some time for teammates to come help him out.
Bound one shot, has to bail from this fight. SnakeBite knows that he's here. Does he have resources to be able to take him out? No, he's going to do it the old-fashioned way, but it's all good for him. They are going to remove Bound, and that flag is back in their base. So it looked like an opportunity here for Optic Gaming. Fizzled very quickly.
But Optic still in a strong position. Even though they're down a cap, they have more map control. It's going to be tough for FaZe to break out of this position. The reasons that's so difficult here on this map is you don't really have any good ways to get high up power positions besides flanking down low. And people are going to see those predictable paths. They're going to know you're either going courtyard or going down your rocket ramp.
Some big kills might be happening here for FaZe. Now they're doing what you had mentioned before, how difficult it is to fight out of that. They weren't prepared for that player in Cave, which was Lucid. So because he gets that kill, because that happens, this leads to Pznguin getting the rockets, and now potentially they can make this flagpole reality for them. Does this rocket give them what they need? Oh, okay, so he's just going to use that one out. But that is going to be 2 players down, and FaZe Clan trying to get in their face, but well done by Optic Gaming to playing that defense.
3 down apiece. Kind of anyone's map right now. You see SnakeBite try and take up as much ground as he can. Unfortunately spotted, and now he's going to be ratting down towards the Optic base. This is going to be a crucial one-on-one. If he can win this and spot this, he can run this flag. But no, his teammates are left in a 3v4. 3 members down, they know where SnakeBite's at. This is going to be Optic moving the flag across the map and killing SnakeBite on their way back. SnakeBite, no factor here on this flag run. This one is likely going to be it for Optic.
Mission accomplished, removing that player from their side of the field now. Renegade gets the kill onto an unsuspecting Pznguin down low. That should be the flag cap. Here's some shots coming in. One player at the front, and they stop it. How the hell did that happen? Lucid manages to get inside of the base. No freaking shot. He's going to get the re. He's right there to it.
He was so close, but it got stopped.
Man.
Lucid almost had a hero play getting that recovery, but Optic just too good, too coordinated. They're going to escort their flags back. You're calling a tall order because not only did Lucid get the flag kill at the last moment, but he also was expected to get a double kill and follow kill after that.
Oh, I thought that was I actually thought he got the nade on that. That was a shot. That was the nade, so either way, we'll just move that one to the side. Formal hasn't really been able to get out of this, but he's also just trying to see if anyone's pushing up on their bridge. Of course.
That's 2 bodies, make that 3 connected shots. This is going to be Optic once again grabbing this flag. They got so many people so weak, so fast. That's going to be Lqgend trying to fight this one-on-one. Oh no, Lqgend gets taken down by Lucid. So they aren't going to get that flag out immediately. And now the cave spawns come through. Optic don't have a safe path back with this flag. In fact, FaZe, if they want to get greedy, they could try to pull a counter pull. But I'm guessing that they're just going to go for slays to be safe because it's a 1-1 game here.
Renegade's in their side of the field. Lucid wise to it, but he's one shot. Not much he could do. He'll need to bail from that fight. Attempted flagpole here for Renegade.
Make it chaos. And somehow, throughout this crazy time, Renegade gets us all the way towards bottom center. All Optic have to do is just get a couple slays and rally this back, but kills being traded in FaZe's favor. Optic aren't going to desperate that flag. And that's going to be all 4 down for a moment. Renegade's the only one to spawn.
And I think now with these rockets, you've set yourself up for success. They know elbow, you're going to have a body over there. Lots of pressure here for Pznguin. Finds one in the backfield, doesn't get any kills with those. Absolute heartbreaker with that power weapon, but amazing defense by Optic Gaming, preventing FaZe Clan from being able to do whatever they wanted inside of the base here. And they'll hold FaZe back for the time being. Lucid's gonna need to run away, tail tucked between his legs, because he knows he's in a losable situation here, and that's exactly how it played out.
And you gotta say, FaZe had the step that they wanted. They had the push they wanted, just mis-executed. Couple missed shots, couple mispositioned players.
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
Those Rockets connect, you get those two big kills with the Rockets, you're in there, right? You're pulling that flag and potentially even getting that flag cap here. Big attempted opportunity by Formal and the boys in Optic Gaming, but they do get 2 players down. They're gonna get that send that one right back to the base, still tied 1-1. But wait a minute, SnakeBite though. Okay, I was about to say, he does get the but that player's still in the base, so they gotta get him out of there.
Yeah, they're just trying to get those trades out of their base. I feel like enough damage has been done to the Optic players that they're not so much worried now about a flag being pulled immediately. Instead, they're worried about the map control that they've lost.
Players dropping like flies every single time we jump over to a POV. But now this is a chance for Optic. Big fight now if Bound can stay alive, but TriPPPeY, wise to it, gets what they need. A double kill though for Formal on their side of the field. He's gonna at the very least not allow FaZe to march further.
Look at this, Renegade trying to get some connection with the snipe. He doesn't want people right next to him, but he's getting so much pressure here on the snipe side, but somehow not taking any damage really as of yet.
Yeah, it's very rare to see Renegade with that sniper and those hip fire shots missing those shots, right? Especially at that close range.
I don't think SnakeBite's known at this position. We're gonna have to see if this plays out here, but looks like he was eventually spotted out as he was fighting Formal. So yeah. SnakeBite taking out Formal in that situation.
Does go low, so SnakeBite's gonna be over toward the elbow. And I think he might be in a fight right now. Yes, he is. Actually, as a matter of fact, his teammate Bound just got caught by a nade. That's going to be 2 players down for Optic here. Renegade still not able to find those shots.
He's
chasing him down. He's chasing. He's trying to find him. Oh my word! While he was able to get him eventually, it took a lot of effort, Dave.
That is not great there for Optic. He wants to secure that kill fast, but no longer do they have the sniper back on their half, and now you have Rockets back over on the Optic flag.
I think they managed to use both of them though. So that won't be a factor for right now. What a close game this is. 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining. Could very well end up in that OT. 3 players down for FaZe, 3 players down for Optic. You just got Pznguin and Formal, 2 former teammates as the last player standing.
Okay.
And he sent him right back to the respawn screen. No fight necessary.
With that spotting over there, they now know the push is coming over on the snipe side. Optic have 2 choices. Do they go fight fire with fire over on the snipe side, or do they sneak somebody over in on the elbow? Looks like they opt to do both, but they don't have the numbers on the snipe side. You see Bound fall, you see Renegade fall. This is gonna be Formal falling. Lqgend, the only one alive.
No one's there right now to make a flagpole happen, but they are getting these kills. 2 players down, and Optic have not had much of an opportunity to be able to take a fight with the full force of their team. Renegade very weak, but the help comes in from Formal. He loses it though, because Lucid, right around the corner, that pistol close range is going to be devastating.
Good old pistol duel.
Big push happening now. 2 players down for FaZe Clan, 1 down for Optic Gaming. Bound playing the elbow. They know that FaZe Clan love to play this area and force fights in this direction. That's why they've been putting their bodies there, putting their resources. We're only 5 seconds remaining now. It's getting down to the wire, folks. We're gonna go to overtime here in Origin CTF Map 3, but as I say that, we got ourselves a flagpole. No shot this is happening.
Nah, nobody's in position. Whoa.
Wait a minute.
It's still going a little bit more. Formal got a kill, Bound trade out 1.
Wait a minute.
Formal's moving across, that's all 4 down for FaZe.
Wait a minute.
I don't know how this happened. FaZe probably putting the brakes on, just saying, we're going to overtime anyways, guys, don't freak out, but Optic, there's gonna be no one in position to stop this.
Unfreaking believable! Just when you thought you were gonna go to overtime, the veteran, the legend, Formal, and the rest of Optic Gaming dig deep at the 1 second mark to pull that flag for the win. Optic Gaming do it again. That has to be annoying and frustrating for FaZe Clan.
That is so tough for FaZe, because you and I, we even have, God view over here. We've seen where everyone's at. We're saying, there's no way someone caps here. We've been in the situation 100 times, and 99 times, people at the most get a quick flag pull and die. But we got to witness one of those rare times where they were able to rally that back. It wasn't like they had a clean wipe on the board and had everyone from FaZe down when they started that flag run. It was like a 4-on-4. And then just people died one by one from the FaZe side, resulting in Optic rallying that one all the way back in a time that I'm sure, no exaggeration, I bet if we went to the comms of FaZe, they probably started talking about overtime. Yeah. No joke. They were probably saying, all right, what are we gonna do different off the start of this overtime? What are we gonna do to get Sniper this time? We got Rockets fine last time, but what are we doing for Snipe?
Very true. And what ends up happening, well, they don't get to try that because Optic just swoop on in. Big plays from the team. We'll take a look at the highlights from this one, neck and neck, through and through. It started things off with a great start from FaZe Clan. They got that first flag and established control early on, but then it was Optic Gaming, little by little, grinding away at FaZe Clan, and they were so close, Lucid, to being able to return that flag, but instead, you ended up seeing Formal and the rest of the crew get that first flag cap for Optic, tying this one up. And at that point, they knew they had the capability to be able to win this. Keep this one as close as you possibly can. Both teams really find their all out here. What a sequence this one was as well. My word.
Renegade, even when he's missing a slight little bit, he still gets the job done. You know, like his floor is so much higher than, I would say, most people's ceilings.
It's wild, man. There goes that pistol doing work. That was a big play. Had he died there and lost cave control, who knows what could have happened. There it is, the last cap. They got 4 FaZe members down, and the Optic fans love that. Now Optic's up 2-1. Pressure's on for FaZe. And we're going to Oddball Live Fire next. I actually want to see the stats between these two teams if we have them, and to see who's really got that upper hand coming into this. Because if anything, I would say, Dave, that the way that this Origin CTF game played out, I do think that the stats actually did tell us a story here. And if anything, if you're an Optic fan, seeing, again, hey Dave, 1 is good, right? First place is good?
1 is pretty good.
We've established that yesterday, right?
Yeah, they're looking pretty solid here. Just, you know, a casual 17-1 on Oddball.
6-0 on Live Fire, 6-0. Oh man, FaZe Clan. And
also, the round win percentage, meaning they haven't dropped a single round of Live Fire Oddball. So not only do you need to break that streak from Optic by taking 1 round off them, you need to have Lightning Strike twice and do it 2 times for your tournament life to get back into a Game 5.
You literally need to do the thing that no one has been able to do in this tournament.
And just do it twice.
Hey, what better time to do it than the elimination finals, right?
Well, just say, why not twice?
Why not twice, you know? Oh boy. Optic fans have to be feeling pretty good about that. FaZe fans might be sweating a couple buckets, but don't count this team out yet. Lots of fight still. And here we go, map 4. Out of the break here we see clean kills. This is a comfort area here for Optic Gaming, as we saw in those stats earlier on.
TriPPPeY's got that snipe. Renegade on the hunt. He wants to see if he can grab that weapon. Finding a one-shot Lucid. Just not able to get that pick. Great teamwork there and support from Pznguin to save Lucid over at that window. Lucid still somehow staying alive and getting a pick on the Legend.
I mean, I'm pretty sure TriPPPeY must have been telling them, back out, I can help you out. And Lucid's like, nah, fam, I got this. Pznguin's gonna need some help in a moment here, but he's dancing around the dummy so well. And that camo is gonna help him out with that as well. 12 points gained for FaZe Clan at the start here. They got what they needed. They got the power weapons, they got the power items, and they have the objective. So a good start here for FaZe Clan.
Yeah, great position for FaZe. Also a crucial one-on-one. That's fine. When you got the ball time, when you're pushing it across the map, you can trade out situations like that. They're now going to probably play off depending where Pznguin spawns. Unfortunately, now that they are getting picked over at the silo side, it's going to be Pznguin trying to re-enter the fight as fast as he can. Pznguin the only one alive after that spawn. But now all the members here from FaZe spawning over in the garage. I'm surprised that they're picking up that ball right away, Gold Toy, because I would assume that with the sniper pressure and with these players pushing through, you don't want to just hole up on the garage and give them the setup.
But they also know how good this Optic Gaming team is when it comes to this game mode and map in particular. So I think, Dave, you gotta scoop up whatever you can, because if you let Optic roll on this one, it's not gonna be pretty. Renegade, though, looking to get in there with it and does not work out. Now that FaZe have the ball on their side, how does Optic try to get back into this one? They have no points gained thus far. Legend's gonna be the first one to help them out. Let's jump in to an Optic listen in and see how they fight out of this.
Corner. What's on screen?
They're gonna be right heavy.
Yeah, a lot right. I heard you.
I think.
Nice bound.
And green.
Green?
Yeah.
Two dead.
Three dead.
Camo's coming.
He's spike cuts, okay? He's spike cuts.
They're gonna be on this quick.
I'm guess Camo. On OB.
Just ready. I just want to go.
Went towards cuts. They have camo towards cuts.
We're trying to
Two there. Keto cut.
Watch Keto, John.
They have camo somewhere. Probably in tower.
We getting time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Sniper's coming next, guys. Sniper and 10.
Pillars out. One shot pillars. Trippy. Scamming.
Yeah, kill me. Nice.
You bonus on you. Camo, man. He's top nest. He went top. Pillars. Play it. Pillars.
We took an A.
Something rotates every.
Yo, sniper's coming, guys, right now.
Come on. Two down. Go down. Run. Easy. Secret side. Yo, go in big door.
Comms, of course, very intense there. Oh, Legend, big fight there, winning the reversal for him. What did you pull away from those comms there, Dave?
Honestly felt a little chaotic at sometimes, just calling out where where Camo was pushing towards. But also one thing that kind of held true was Lunchbox saying where they're rotating the ball, where they're prepping it, saying rotating this towards A, we can bring this back. Sniper up in 10. So even throughout the chaos or small moments that they're in an intense fight, they're keeping the macro picture in vision. They're saying, where are we pushing this ball? What is the next objective that we're going for, whether that's a sniper or a camo, and what are you doing off your spawn?
Well, if I'm Legend here, I'm just focusing on peeling some folks with this S7, which he has been successful in doing so. And we're seeing the reason why Optic is so good on live fire. Boom! Legend! Headshot on to TriPPPeY, activates the killing spree. Last shot, one shot, no problem. And they're about to hit 75 points gain. Might need to play that ball in a second here. Bound gets the kill. And there goes the calls there. He's just wrapping around. Legend's just doing whatever the hell he wants out here. Play ball comes through.
Yeah, and these slays and these players are getting a little out of control here for Optic. FaZe needs to reel this in quick if they want to extend this to a game 5. But with the pace that Optic are playing right now, outside that first minute or two, it's been just Optic this entire game.
It does feel like they are so quick to be there to support one another at a moment's notice. But remember, this is ball. We still have plenty of time left to work with now. So even with that 91 points that Optic Gaming have been able to successfully grab, it's still not locked up yet. But even then, though, let's not forget, this is a team that when we saw those stats earlier on, 1-1-1 all across the board, absolute domination in this mode. And FaZe know this. Camo's gonna get activated here by Pznguin, keeping it out of the hands of his opponents. Can he stay alive? Here's a big fight for him, but he's gonna have to reload too many times. He's been caught in those positions where he's needed to reload that gun in a desperate fight, but hey, keeps that camo away from his opponent. But as time begins to tick down and as it gets closer here, Dave, you can't make any of these mistakes.
Yeah, we haven't seen as many Pznguin escapes against Optic compared to SSG. We saw Pznguin just getting away with murder over and over again in that LB finals, or lower semis, I should say.
They do manage to get that ball back, so FaZe Clan will, for the time being, stabilize here. Pressure starting to come in from the nest. You also see another one over there back green. That's formal. Legend with that kill onto Lucid is going to open up a little bit of the map, have to prompt SnakeBite to make some big plays here. And he gets one alongside his teammate, trying to jiggle peek around this, and Formal manages to win out on that battle. That's going to be 2 players down for FaZe Clan. Ball does get played. You got to get in there right now.
Great trap there from Lucid. Able to turn this around. That could have easily been sniper in the hands of Optic, ball rotating away from the hands of Optic. That single-handedly saved this round there by Lucid. Now they actually have to make something of that. They need to get this ball away. They got a kill from TriPPPeY with sniper in his hands. Can they extend this into a closer game? Because they need to close this gap soon.
TriPPPeY's anticipating pressure from the mud side here, but no one's there right now. You can see where all those players are positioned. Oh, needed that shot to connect. Needed that one too. Does finally find that one. Have to prompt that player to run away. But with that ball down low, is anyone around to be able to grab that here, Dave?
Doesn't look like it just yet, at least not from the FaZe side. But yeah, you're calling it out perfectly from TriPPPeY. He didn't have that same comfortability on the tower, and that's just when your teammates don't have the info. The last thing you want to have happen when you have sniper on that tower is you're getting backsmacked or surprised by someone coming around the mud.
TriPPPeY, great job taking the ball outside of the cave, because when it's down there, it is a absolute mosh pit. So, you know, and then for Optic, they throw it back in there as well, right? Time works for them, but now FaZe Clan have that ball. And this is where things are gonna get a little dicey here. Granted, there's still plenty of time for Optic Gaming to work with. A couple of big pushes can come through here, but I am a little concerned.
Ooh,
and this is a
nice
good rotation.
They know that so many players are over the nest side, so they tried to rotate this over through cut/silo. Their eventual target is the garage, but keep in mind, if they bring this ball towards screen in the garage, you cannot play ball it. And Bound grabbed up this time. SnakeBite, I'm assuming, spawning so far away, they're not going to be able to stop this ball, and that's going to be round one going to Optic Gaming.
It was a valiant effort from FaZe Clan, but we saw why Optic Gaming are so dominant in this map and mode at the early ongoing of this game. And they gave themselves that 91 points, which meant they just needed to get one good round of slays. And as we saw, that was the round right there. So now, in order for FaZe to do this, they have to win these next 2 rounds. And given how things have shaked out, how this game mode has been for Optic Gaming, you gotta be feeling good for the green wall right now.
Yeah, green wall looking good, and they just need to keep slaying out if they want to, you know, close out this gaming series. One thing even to keep in mind, when you look at those slays right now, I believe it's even. It's actually, yeah, just about even, exactly, from all the members of Optic. So even though they're even throughout that last round, essentially, they came out almost 2-1 in ball time.
The objective is what matters, and that's what Optic prioritizes. Lqgend, he may not have been having the most dominant slaying performance, doesn't matter, because he's there with 73 points in the objective, helping his boys out. Now they have a FaZe with this ball again. A little bit different this time around. Good start, not really allowing Optic to get back in, but this is kind of similar to what we saw last time as well, right, Walsh? Because this was FaZe with another strong start, but then Optic just came right back in.
Yeah, they would try to rotate this toward garage, but you said Optic would clear him out and get these kills. Now it's actually a 2-on-2 though. This is a risky play here from Formal. Formal wants to just take this fight while he can. So here he goes, and he gets his face peeled by SnakeBite. Make that 2 in a row for Dadbite.
Oh, baby. Good shots there. Maybe another one outside, doesn't get the connection. You know someone's gonna be there by key door. He's waiting for that push to come through. One shot, and it's just smart, just use that ammo, but if someone tries to challenge him here, he'll just waste it. So no sniper rifle for Optic Gaming.
But while SnakeBite was drawing all that attention over at the window,
they didn't play.
FaZe was to bring the ball all the way towards
get
green and play the ball.
They did not get to play the ball. It was just at the lip of the edge there. Hate to see it for FaZe, love to see it if you're Optic. And this is, those little mistakes in this map and mode, you cannot let that happen for Optic.
Yeah, I mean, look at where all the other members of FaZe are. They're pretty much perfectly positioned for a play ball scenario. They could be toward top center, they could contest towards the tunnels, but instead, Optic grabbing 15 points and then able to get their own play ball as FaZe are drawn towards back green.
Okay, you see Renegade on the dummy side of the map. They're going to bring the ball over here toward green. I like
this play, actually. If you just got done clearing out green, why not bring the ball straight back there? That's where you have the presence on the map. Your team had to control that area in order to make that play ball happen.
Yeah, Lucid's like, hey guys, I'm kind of by myself over here, so why don't you go ahead and bring that ball?
When did you get his voice down perfectly like that?
It's crazy. I mean, I hang out with him a lot, obviously. Lqgend with his camo is trying to sniff out where he can target these FaZe Clan members, but they actually find him instead, needing him to back up here. Does have some help, but wait a minute. They actually isolate him and remove him from the equation.
Is he gonna play this? It's a one-on-one. Oh, such a good play. Sees his teammate spawn over at green and just runs it towards your teammate. You don't always need to know exactly where the opponents are. You can deduce. You can say, all right, is an area clear, or do I have a teammate here?
Yeah.
And that teammate's going to give you perfect cover.
Especially with where those spawns were coming in. You saw that instantly. Formal will take that. Ball played though. FaZe Clan with a great round here. 61-14 as we see.
And now this is Optic's time. Look at some of the other teams when they're trying to escort that ball out of cave, they receive so much trouble. Whereas Optic just has that perfect plan. They had somebody above the chute. They had somebody covering over towards A plat, and then just ran that safely through T-door because they knew that nobody was coming from garage side.
Formal's getting a lot of pressure here. Does go down. Lqgend now trying to help out his boy. Get that sniper rifle
wow.
back.
What a trade from Pznguin.
Love to see that one. That's 3 down, and FaZe get this ball again. And now let's not forget that this whole event, it has been Optic Gaming have dominated this mode, and they have not dropped around. So this is getting very, very close here, and FaZe know that they have them backs against the wall.
Great rotation there too. SnakeBite, the only one near the ball, decides to, even though he has sniper, rotate that ball through. Don't listen to other people when they're saying, I have this weapon, I ain't touching the objective. Look at this, one of the best teams in the world. SnakeBite grabbing that objective and rotating his team when he needs it.
Well, and this literally is what we were talking about before with him, right? Where this is the type of guy who at those moments when he has the power weapon, but no, he wants to play that objective to ensure that you do the thing that you need to do, get the win. That's what matters here.
However, you gotta wonder, didn't hand that ball off quick enough, wasn't able to make much use of that snipe once he got towards green. And you also have to wonder, was it too early of a play ball this time? Last time you saw FaZe not get a chance to play ball at the beginning of the game. This time, FaZe play balled it so early, and Optic were not forced to put too much pressure on green. They had all their map presence, and because of it, they're rewarded now. They have the ball over towards back tower. They are safe and comfortable. They have FaZe spawning towards the garage.
I do like this work that we're seeing from Lucid, though, because while they were going after that camo, they also had Lucid putting pressure on the ball. So not allowing them to be able to gain as many points as they could have gained with, you know, the setup that they had, while at the same time prioritizing those vital components in the map that will allow them to be able to do exactly this, force the situation for Optic Gaming. We do have a minute 40 to work with here, but FaZe Clan still holding on to this lead. And I gotta say, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far for them. Good reads, and even though there have been some slip-ups here and there, at this level, it's expected because both teams are doing everything they can to force those mistakes.
I mean, FaZe, they're getting closer to doing the impossible. They're closer to take this first round off of Optic here
points.
on live fire oddball. I like this play from SnakeBite. Plays a little early so he can still fight and do a 1-on-1. He gets at least the trade. No, he gets the win against Bound.
I tell you, that pistol, man, sometimes you love it, sometimes you hate it. And I'm sure SnakeBite there was like, thank you so much for bailing me out there. But it is going to be Optic getting that ball again, and this is where I get a little nervous for FaZe Clan here. If Renegade gets this shot and manages to get this kill, that will open up that lane now. Oh my word! Renegade gets the headshot on it, SnakeBite, its former teammate.
And the worst part is like, you expect him to hit that.
Yeah.
We're not like surprised. We're not like, how did he ever hit that? It's like, he does this stuff so consistently. He's so damn good at this game.
Still cool though. You know?
That was never a question.
That was very true. Oh my! My guy, check his back. Check his back. His stuff is broken. Good God. He's doing all this work here. And Optic Gaming are getting back into this game. This is exactly what he didn't want to see happen,
Even
Dave.
with Renegade doing all this, his team is down. There's 3 now down for Optic. You would expect as Renegade's hitting plays like that his team is running away with the ball and getting a setup, but no, that was just to prevent FaZe Clan from getting a full setup.
Not going to front, though. I'm a little bit concerned about this because even though you only have 10 points to gain, you're inside of the garage, and they managed to stop it. Right in his tracks. Members of FaZe surrounding. They could die here. And if they do, that means it's going to be a completely open field here for Optic Gaming to come back into this one. But instead, no. It's going to be FaZe Clan who manages to stabilize here. They got to get the ball back in their hands. They only have 8 points to gain.
Ball in front of window. They're not overly committing. They don't want to give a free death or free damage to all these members pushing over from dummies. It's still not a safe play just yet. Now that there's 3 down, Lqgend last alive at Keydoor. That's all dead.
4.
Pznguin grabbing the last 5 points, and we got ourselves a 1-1 game, Golden Boy.
FaZe Clan doing what no one was able to do here in Salt Lake City. Take a round off of Optic Gaming and Live Fire Oddball. Folks, we got ourselves a game. Here we go.
Talked about lightning once, GB. Can lightning strike twice? Bring us to a game 5.
You gotta just do it again. You gotta do it again.
Twice. Come on.
I don't know about you guys, Salt Lake City, but I want a map 5. Oh yeah. I'm sure a couple salty Optic fans are like, no, I don't. Which I completely understand, by the way. I'm with you guys. But a good start here for FaZe, getting them a couple points, but actually, let me correct that.
Really good start for Optic.
Better start for Optic.
Yeah, they got Camo, Sniper, Renegade, and they have a garage setup.
Diabolical combination.
Nobody is going to risk pushing over on this side while he has that sniper. Look at how people avoid this open field.
They're allergic to the grass that's out here. You know, that's why they don't want to be here right now. Great shot on Pznguin, looking for another one. Might be able to find it here, but the shots are going to be a little wide. Does get the trade, though. A couple shots burned. That's 3 players down for FaZe Clan.
But still 30 points on the board for Optic on this first setup. This setup ain't done yet.
It's very different from the last 2 rounds. Because the last 2 rounds, it was FaZe who...
Pznguin somehow stopped his rotation. I don't know exactly where Pznguin came from, but he must have been near scoreboard or something.
Big trade there.
They stopped the rotation, so this is huge. This was a position that Optic were going to rotate this ball all the way towards green and be able to play ball it while their spawner's set up. Now we're in a position where FaZe Clan have the garage set up.
Optic now looking to make this push happen. Flying into the base. They cannot get that ball out of there in time. And it is going to go right back into the hands of Optic Gaming. And this is bad. This is real bad for FaZe Clan because this is not the start that they would have wanted.
No, and they're stuck over here at green for a little bit. One nice snipe will break them out of this position. The only silver lining you have here is that they might get a garage setup if they break through these kills, but no, Optic played so smart. They rotate the ball through tunnel as FaZe Clan were getting those kills and pushing in. And throughout this play, either Optic had the opportunity to push that further in tunnel and essentially make it a play ball, or if they got the kills, just like you saw when they secured those against FaZe, they can rotate the ball through key door back to garage. What a brilliant rotation from Optic.
Optic seem to be running away with this one. Is this how FaZe's tournament is going to end here? That's what we're wondering. As Optic hit that 74 points, FaZe need to wake up. They need to get in the face of Optic, not allow them to be able to get away with this one, run away with this 3rd round. Bound is finally going to fall, and that is going to open up the opportunity here for FaZe Clan to get that ball, bring it inside of the garage. But I'm not going to lie, though, Dave. I kind of want to see them mix it up a little bit rather than bring it in there because those garage fights have been real dicey for them.
Yeah, if you're FaZe Clan, you can no longer really commit to a garage setup because as soon as Optic get control back, 24 points is enough in one full setup that they can get. They essentially need to move this ball from garage over towards green. So we're gonna see if FaZe Clan decide to rotate towards green, and that looks like to be exactly what they're doing on the side of my screen. They're getting it away from garage. No, ball is still in garage. They now just need to get these kills. If they don't get these kills, Optic can control garage and a setup. Lucid and a sniper has something different to say about that though.
Gorgeous shots there from Lucid. And now it's FaZe's turn. But a big swing gained by Optic, but not big enough to the point where it makes it difficult for FaZe to get back into the game. They're doing it by hook or by crook, but it's gonna take a lot here. Optic's gonna make them work for it, and you see this pressure starting to come in right from the rat tunnel, down low. Renegade gets that kill on the SnakeBite. Lucid needs to watch his back.
Look at this. FaZe rotating the ball through tunnel, trying to get it outside of garage.
No shot.
Like I said before, they do not want to give Optic the ball in garage. But every time they secure these kills, it's fine to rotate it back. And that's going to be all 4 down for a moment. FaZe trying to spot where the spawners are. Lucid uncertain, just trying to run away. They're opting to give away from this garage setup. I like this play.
Yeah, move it out of there.
They're bringing it over towards tower. They have the advantage of being in a tall position like tower. Also, they can play ball from this spot.
It's been way too long on that side of the map. A good switch up here, change the approach, but just as we say that,
play
though,
ball
happens again. They can't get that ball off of the map, and this is now really dangerous.
Oh no. Lucid was planning on that play ball. Even if Lucid was going to die down in bomb center, he was going to run that through the rat tunnel back towards garage. Now Lucid has to try to find his way towards tower, and there's only 5 points left before Renegade and Optic close this one out.
Is anyone there to be able to stop it? Does not seem to be the case. No! Just at the final moment, Optic Gaming clutch out, proving why they're so dominant in live fire oddball. And Optic will be moving on to the grand finals for a date with Shopify Rebellion yet again.
And what a dominating performance there from Optic. You saw there, especially in game 4.
I do think
round 3 of oddball, just everything going their way.
It was a hot start, man. Every other round started off at a bit more even capacity, but it was that third round. Optic came out with such force and did not allow FaZe Clan to have those chances to come back into the game. A brilliantly done job by Optic, proving why they're so dominant on that live fire oddball game. But commiserations for FaZe Clan. What an incredible tournament for this team. The Optic core reuniting alongside SnakeBite makes me very excited for what this team is going to do going into Charlotte, as well as the Halo World Championship. And if anything, it's just really lit up the HCS this season because, oh boy, our top four so close to one another. It just comes down to the margins, Dave.
Also, one thing to note, on that last series, Optic actually outslayed by 5 kills. Being outslayed by 5 kills and having the majority of the time winning rounds 1 and round 3 is so impressive. I think the kills started, you know, maybe they just got so heavily outslayed maybe in round 2 of the oddball game, but outslayed by 5, but winning the OBJ. Their objective efficiency for a Slayer God squad like this is not in question.
Unbelievable. What a game that was. Round of applause for both of them. A show was given, but we still got plenty more to go. And now we got Lottie and Tony here joining us yet again on the desk. Guys, what a series we watched.
Unbelievable series. And I will say, there is honestly, for FaZe, we'll talk about Optic in a second, there's lots of good things to say about them. For FaZe fans, wipe your tears, folks. That was everything that we needed to know about this roster. They have had their first LAN together. This is the first one, going up against the back-to-back champions. Being so incredibly close like that, that is everything I think that they wanted to see out of this roster to know it's going to work.
And Tony, correct me if I'm wrong how you feel on this, but genuinely, like when I look at those stats and how dominant Optic were on live fire oddball, and I saw how FaZe took it to them in those first 2 rounds, heck, even in that third round as well, one has to wonder, like, that was a lot of progress gained. That was a lot of good work that we were seeing from FaZe Clan here. Kudos to Optic, but FaZe certainly showing a lot of growth.
Yeah, statistically, it feels like FaZe wanted to win that capture the flag, because going into an oddball, that is not something you want to do against Optic Gaming, but nothing seemed to FaZe Clan. They went in and knew that they could beat no matter who was in front of them, and that firepower, that coordination, that's going to carry over, not just in SLC, but the rest of 2025. FaZe up.
FaZe up indeed. I will say, I think one of the biggest problems with that oddball in particular was the fact that Optic applied a lot of pressure, and it was phenomenal. FaZe answered that pressure. Unfortunately, in the case of this objective gameplay and mode, you need somebody to be holding the ball. It required FaZe to have all gunnies up in order to do that and apply the same pressure back to gain map control. And unfortunately, we were seeing some milky holds, nothing really of structure, a lot of back green, a lot of play balls that were coming in a little bit too early. I mean, you could literally see the difference in a household from Optic as opposed to FaZe. It was quite uncomfortable the entire time, and that's because of the unbelievable pressure Optic put on every single time. I will say, before we head on to Optic and about what they were able to achieve here, which is incredible, I just want to give a massive shout out to Pznguin. My goodness. I mean, I'm actually gutted that they didn't get away with maybe even going to a Game 5, because what he was able to do on that live fire map, that deserved the Game 5 to me just on itself, because he was unbelievable. What an incredible player. Pznguin is one of my favorites to ever do it. He is absolutely insane. So GG's FaZe, commiserations. They go out of the tournament there, top 3 once again, but with the new roster, and we'll see what they can do next time. On the other side of things, though, Optic Gaming, my gosh. Okay, so many challenges coming forward. You know, facing a new team as well, a new team who are really feeling good. They're feeling the vibes. Maybe a honeymoon period for them as well. Optic stands strong. You know, they've got their back against the wall. They're thinking, gosh, darn it, I'm in the elimination bracket again. I got another 2 series that I have to get across the board in the grand final if we get there. But they held their heads high. They've been here before, Tony, and I think they're ready to do it again, apparently.
Yeah, when you look at Optic Gaming, you got to look at the playmaking ability, you know, whether it's from the slaying standpoint or the objective. That clutch capture the flag right in sudden death was absolutely huge. And specifically, Formal and Renegade. Formal was so consistent in the damage department and getting his, but then Renegade, which oftentimes people think that Renegade is at his best when he's getting to consistent 1v1 battles. No, Renegade loves it when Formal's putting down max damage, and he's finding these sneaky angles to sneak away kills and to sneak out of these engagements. Renegade, he is a main slayer for a reason, but he don't fight fair.
He certainly is good. I want to talk about some other members as well. I will say, though, that CTF with that near overtime I was really hoping for, because I thought that was going to be really spicy and exciting. You know, I personally think that was just mistakes made on the side of FaZe. I think what they needed to do was ensure a really tight defense. They didn't. I don't know what they were doing, to be perfectly honest with you. Because honestly, this could have been a very different series if that had gone their way with overtime. Who knows what could have happened? But I want to say also, in terms of playmaking, Lqgend really stood out to me.
Yeah.
Lqgend was a thorn in the side of FaZe here. It was unbelievable things coming out of this young man. Yes, he may not have the highest KD, but that's not exactly always what you want to win a series. Yes, it's great to have openings, to have your main slayer. You talked about Renegade. He's been unbelievable all series formal with the snipes on Origin. My goodness me, insane. But Lqgend just time and time again putting FaZe in such a difficult position where they really struggle to get out of it. They're thinking they're safe and warm and cozy. Maybe we could have a hold here, guys. And then here comes Lqgend, just absolutely turning everything sideways because he's managed to find the most unbelievable routes. Walshy, when it comes down to players like Lqgend, obviously he's young, you know, first European player to join North America and to really make some noise here. You know, he's nearly on a 6P. That's insane.
He's
stuff.
breaking all the records. Like, all right, save a few more records for some other European players. You know, first one to win a major HCS tournament, first one to win a season MVP, first one to, like you said, possibly 5P, 6P, just going off. But yeah, he does all the things right. I think the thing that's most interesting from the stats when I look at someone like Lqgend is not all kills are equal. When you kill somebody who had a camo or a sniper or a situation where you're down to one shot, that doesn't count the same as just finished off somebody one shot that you're running along the way during a full setup. Those are not the same situations.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy you guys are giving some shine to Lqgend. I talked about Formal and Renegade from the stats department, but you know, like you said, not all kills, not all damage created equal. In fact, I'll even give a shout out to Bound. People looked at Bound stats and probably thought he had a bad series. If you saw his assist, it was absolutely out of this world. He being that entry fragger and putting the initial damage, sometimes you gotta die in order to make sure that your team secures 2 or 3 kills and gives your whole team an advantage.
What I like about both of these teams, and honestly, I'll say for our top 4 as a whole, but most notably for the 2 that we just saw here, it really is cool to see 8 truly unselfish players work together, right, all the time. It's not like, you know, one person's needing to step up and be that playmaker, or it's not just like, you know, all being pressured onto a couple of individuals. Like, no, everyone was sharing the load in different ways. Because, you know, you see Lqgend and you think, oh yeah, this kid's gonna pop off, he's gonna absolutely slay. But no, what ends up happening is he's filling that objective role because he wasn't having the hottest game as far as like the crazy stats are concerned. But to the point that you guys were saying, he was getting high impact kills. And on top of that, he was also collecting the objective too. There's just so much good work that he was doing, him and Bound, and the support that he was getting from Renegade and Formal. The slays were unbelievable. That was just so fun to watch. And I think, if anything, it should give Optic some confidence going into this grand finals against Rebellion.
100%. Honestly, it just makes me really excited for Charlotte as well. I can't wait to see some of the redemption arcs from some of these teams who honestly feel like they fell short there at the finish line.